This is awesome.
Oh, Clark, hey. Good to see you among the living, man. Check it out. It's the latest talent mix.
Thanks, Pete.
Good to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talon Mix. It is a Smallville recap podcast that, scared to see you there. I was trying something. I don't think it worked out. I'm Brian.
I'm Zach. Hi.
Yeah. You should just come in by yourself. I should go, I'm Brian, and then you should be like, I'm Zach, and then we should go from there. It's always felt awkward. The introduction's always felt awkward to me. I'm just noting this now on while we're recording. I'm making decisions now. Let's try it out. Let's take it from the beginning. I'm leaving all this in. I'm dead serious. We're doing this now.
Yeah, no, I got
Glad to see you all among the living. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talon Mix. It's a Smallville recap podcast. Hello, I'm Brian.
I am Zach.
We'll work on it. I think it's going to work out.
See, I miss the part where you go, here with my buddy Zach. Zach, how you doing? Or whatever, I need that.
Yeah,
I need that
all right.
part.
Maybe I'll bring that back. All right. That said, I'm going to put a comment up here, or I'm going to put a window if you're listening to this on Spotify, or feel free to just let us know on our Discord. How should we start this show that we've been doing? I think over 95 episodes of.
Oh,
hey,
we're so
how
close
do you think
to that
we should
100.
start it? We've done 95 of these. How should we open them?
It's a good time to start asking these questions.
I think so. I think it's great that we build this plane while we fly.
Are we at the point yet that we can do a clip show of our episodes?
We certainly have plenty. We could bank a couple best ofs.
Yeah. Best of the giant photo of Clark is like a whole episode.
I think yes. And then eventually someday we will have multiple best of Wheat Boy content episodes.
Best of Wheat Boy Part 1.
Wheat Boy doesn't need silver kryptonite to become a paranoid mess. He just is anyway. They're coming for my wheat.
They're trying to eat me with milk.
They want to make me bread.
And then you have
we're dumb.
people with gluten intolerances really don't like Wheat Boy.
All this to say, we watched Splinter. It's the 7th episode in the 5th season of Smallville. It's the 95th episode overall. It aired November 10th, 2005. I know all this, of course, because I'm reading directly from the Smallville wiki. Smallville.fandom.com. This episode was written by Stephen S. DeKnight, directed by James Marshall. I guess, is there anything else we need to go over? Should we just get right into the recap?
Is this best episode of the year so far?
I think we had a similar thing. You texted me like, am I crazy for thinking this episode is pretty solid? I had the same thought on my couch of like, I think this one's pretty good. It's silly. It's very silly.
Of course. But they're trying something different. It's not your normal freak of the week.
Right.
Clark Welling gets to play a whole new type of thing he's never been able to play before. They do some stylistic stuff, which they don't normally do.
Right.
The music is creepy, appropriately.
Yeah, agreed. I would agree with you. I think this is the best episode so far.
Yeah.
So we have a thing in the wiki here. When a hallucination is taking place, the wiki writes it in green text. Should I acknowledge that or just power through? Because I think the episode the episode plays with it a little bit, and I think recapping it in green kind of ruins that.
Yes, eventually you do pick up on the stylistic choice that they're making. That anytime it's a hallucination,
they change the color a little bit. Yeah.
Well, it's also Clark's POV, so like they show him watching, and then they'll show the conversation like from behind, a shelf or something.
Yes.
So it's clearly that it's from his point of view.
Right. Tell you what, I'm just gonna see how we feel on that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna vibe that one out. But Lana is studying astronomy and meteors in her dorm room when Clark comes to visit. I will say the wiki doesn't get this specific. She seems to be specifically studying the meteors that fell over Smallville. And like she kind of doesn't want Clark to see that's what she's looking at when
Yes.
Is that read correct?
Yeah. Because she's looking into that spaceship.
Right. Correct. He brings a package from Lex that was outside her door. Clark opens the package and scratches his finger on the silver rock inside.
Wait.
Yes, Zach.
We're missing something, Wiki. He enters and he's like, I got your text saying you wanted Chinese food, so I brought it to you. And she's like, I didn't send a text. Oh, nice, chow mein. They brush past that right away.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even flag that.
What do you mean you didn't send me a text?
It's like, what the fuck are you doing here, Clark?
Right.
Instead, Lana is so enticed by chow mein. I believe even at one point she goes, chow mein!
Yeah.
To indicate I would like to go eat now.
I would be like, hold on. You're telling me someone sent me a text from your phone telling me to bring you Chinese food, and it's not you?
To be fair, Lana's going to get a rock from someone who isn't who they say they are as well.
Right, but they don't ask enough questions about that either.
No. So Clark opens the package and scratches his finger on the silver rock inside. The note indicates that it's a new kind of meteor rock, and Clark leaves abruptly. I believe Chloe enters at some point and is like, did my deodorant go south?
Yeah, very Chloe.
Driving home, a large black truck pulls up behind Clark and honks. He signals the other driver to pass, but the truck rams him and begins to chase him. Clark's truck is run off the road and rolls into a ditch. Unharmed, that's a car wreck.
Oh, big car wreck. I know we've touched on this before, but I have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Is the implication in this show that they keep repairing the same red truck?
This one's totaled.
It's been totaled before. They keep buying the same red truck? Like you'd think they'd be like, at
this point,
this
Johnny K
is bad
has
luck.
to be showing up to the local dealership and just like, no, another one. Just give me another one. Just throw me the keys, I'll write you the check.
Will not cover him. They cannot afford auto insurance.
No. So Clark exits the total truck, but the black one has disappeared. He then receives a phone call. When he answers, a garbled voice says, I know who you are. Now, before we even get into that, we have a complication with this scene. So, on the radio, there is a song playing. It begins diegetically, playing over the radio. However, it eventually, changes over into a broader sound mix that it becomes a non-diegetic needle drop.
Right.
This song is called Superman by a band called Stereophonics. Now, Stereophonics is just based on this song, I haven't heard anything else from them, but based on this song, sounds like kind of a Muse knockoff. It's very Muse. The song, titled Superman, that begins diegetically in this episode, contains a lyric in the chorus that goes, Superman on an aeroplane sitting next to Lois Lane. What the fuck?
Okay.
No, time paradox. You cannot untangle this, Zach.
I absolutely can. I'm going to do it right now.
All right.
The part that is diegetic when he's in the car does not feature that line. That line does not get sung until he's out in the street and it's on the soundtrack.
That's
so,
fair.
in the world of Smallville, that song does not contain that lyric, and it's not called
and has
Superman.
a different title. So when the radio DJ comes up and is like, that was blah, blah, blah.
Or maybe it's called Superman, but the line is about Nietzsche.
Of course. That could be. That could be.
Or answer number 2. Clark is under the influence of silver kryptonite, makes him hallucinate things. Maybe he hallucinated a song about himself, in which he's called something he won't be called for many years.
Maybe.
And Lois Lane.
Maybe. Now, here's the thing. Now, here's my question.
Clark has been circling the title of Superman for a while in his head. He just doesn't want to say it out loud.
Right, because it's, I don't know, stupid. Do you think the writers of the television show thought about it?
I don't think the writers picked the song, do you?
I don't know. It's certainly production flagged every song called Superman, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, they were going to fit it in somewhere.
Right. Jonathan is reading the paper about Lex's senatorial run. He muses that he could possibly run in Jack Jennings' place, but Martha doesn't like the idea. Sorry, I got to go back to the temporal destruction of the Smallville canon. You know what my favorite one is? I don't know if I've talked about this on the show. My favorite one of these where like, this don't make no fucking sense. You can't fucking make this work. On Family Matters.
Oh no.
John Stamos guest stars as John Stamos, star of Full House.
Sure.
But on Full House, Steve Urkel plays Jaleel White appears as Steve Urkel.
Oh no.
What do you even do with that? Almost like it doesn't matter.
Alternate timelines. I had a similar thing when I was, as we've talked about before, I was a big fan of the Scream movies growing up. In the movie Halloween H2O, Michelle Williams and her friend, I can't remember who the actress is, are watching a movie in their dorm room. That movie is Scream 2. And it always bothered me back then because I'm like, in the Scream movies, specifically Scream 1, they talk a lot about Halloween and Jamie Lee Curtis. So what does that mean? In the world of Halloween, does Scream 1 not have any references to Halloween in the world of Halloween?
That is wow, a fantastic point.
And I like that. I was wondering that as a middle schooler, but of course the people making the movie were like, this is a fun nod to
right.
This won't bother anyone in the world.
Anyone. The other one that I like is 30 Rock. Of course, in the television show 30 Rock, the show TGS is a stand-in for Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live does not exist. TGS is there. Aaron Sorkin guest stars on the show, or appears on the show at one point, and references his show Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which is kind of 30 Rock, but as a drama, with its own version of a fake SNL. So in the world of 30 Rock is Aaron Sorkin's Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip based on TGS.
Yes.
Done.
Except here's the problem.
Yeah.
In Studio 60, I'm quite confident that SNL exists. In the show of Studio 60, I think they are second to SNL.
Man, there's no coming back from that.
It's over. It's over, Brian.
So ultimately, I mean, that ultimately fixes it, right? Of like Studio 60 is Mad TV.
Yes.
All right, back to Smallville, I suppose. Okay, Martha doesn't like the idea of Jonathan running for state senate, or maybe just Senate. It just says Lex's senatorial run. Martha feels that it would be detrimental to Jonathan's health, and it might put their family in the spotlight, risking Clark's secret.
No, the best is your health. He's like, I feel fine. I'm definitely not going to have a heart attack and die in a few episodes.
Nope, that's not going to happen.
Everything is great with my heart.
Clark arrives home and tells his parents what happened to the truck. No. He says he got chased by a black truck, but he does not mention he fucking exploded the truck again.
No, yeah, he
But
says...
here's the question, Zach. Did he?
Did he actually destroy the truck?
Yeah, or was it a paranoid delusion? Because he does not mention the truck being destroyed. Because Jonathan might want to know that. Oh, also the truck is... God fucking damn it, Clark!
Again? We really should have kept track of how many times that specific truck gets destroyed.
Next time around.
That truck is like Kenny from South Park. It dies at the end of each episode.
Because sure enough, that truck is going to show up. However, that truck has been destroyed diegetically and shown up again.
Right. That's a great question. I was wondering, was that Professor Fine in the big black truck? Or...
Oh, good question.
Because he does have a meeting with Professor Fine later at the school where he talks about the truck attacking him as well. Later, Professor Fine says, oh, yeah, I never saw you at the school. You must have hallucinated that. But did he?
A paranoid thriller episode of Smallville.
So I think that's up for debate. That's a good question.
Good questions all around. Lots of questions for Talkville. Clark arrives home and tells his parents what happened to the truck.
Brian, I just want to say, those guys know less than us about the show.
Seriously.
Obviously, they know a lot more about how it was made, but in terms of these questions, of story questions, they know less than us. We have seen these episodes more times than them.
Absolutely. I wouldn't be surprised with Talkville if this wasn't the first time they're seeing most of these.
Well, Rosenbaum said it is the first time he's watching the episodes.
Yeah, I mean, because like when you're there, I don't think you probably watch an occasional premiere. Like,
right, yeah.
But like you're there, you get it. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen every episode of every of television shows I've worked on.
No, right.
You don't get around to it. You're there. I was there.
It's work. The last thing you want to do when you get home from work is to watch work.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's funny is TV shows I've worked on that I've loved and like loved the experience on and like am a fan of. When I left the show, I didn't keep watching it. And like that always feels crazy when you hear somebody say like, "Oh, I haven't seen X after I left." I haven't seen episodes of shows after I leave. Like yeah, I don't know. It's work. It's work. That's what it is. Okay. Jonathan advises that Clark stick to his normal routine in case someone is watching him. The next day, the subject of Professor Fine's history lecture is powerful men who were betrayed by close friends. What the fuck is this class?
Now, look, obviously he teaches about things to prod at Clark because he's trying to manipulate him and stuff.
Good point.
But I just, from the point of view of every other member of that class, they must be like, what the fuck is going on? What are we learning?
What is this? My dad works 2 jobs to pay for this.
Like nowadays in real life, he's fired within 2 classes of like
2 classes,
this guy's
easy.
Totally off the rails.
This guy belongs on Community,
Yeah.
Like,
yes, he's teaching
you
a
could
community
change
class.
nothing, and this is a lecture from the TV show Community.
Also, it seems like when we cut to the lecture, it seems to be the beginning of the lecture, but class ends 20 seconds in. So
that's just school on TV.
Right.
Anyway, here's the relevant thematic thing about Clark Kent and Lex Luthor. Look at the time.
Darn. All I got to do was introduce historical figures, and then it was the end of class.
Well, the rest of the lecture was just him trying to figure out how the projector works. God fucking shit. God fucking damn. How does this USB go in here? God, now the fucking bulb is out. God fucking damn. I'm sorry, guys. I'll get this to a bunch of hungover fucking freshmen.
Oh, yeah.
So, the next day, the subject of Professor Fine's history lecture is powerful men who are betrayed by close friends. As Clark is gathering his things to leave, a piece of green kryptonite falls out of his backpack, and Clark reads a message on the wall of the slide projector, "I know how to kill you." Clark tells Professor Fine about the truck. Fine says the same truck has been following him, and that he thinks Lex is responsible. Fine says he jotted down the license plate and gives it to Clark to track. I love that Fine here hands him the piece of paper and is like, "Do you know anyone who could track this down? Freshman in high school?"
I just so happen to know someone.
What do you know?
Wait, does that piece of paper prove that he did have the conversation with Fine?
No, because in theory, Clark could just be in a corner like...
Right. Yeah. Wait, but she looks it up. Does she get any results from it?
She does not, I believe. I believe she's like, this car doesn't exist, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I believe that's what happens.
Okay. All right.
Clark takes the plate number to the Daily Planet and asks Chloe to track it. While she is working on it, Clark notices that she has an incoming email from Lionel Luthor. It says there are no secrets. And just as Chloe reports that the truck does not exist, Clark gets upset with Chloe and accuses her of telling Lionel his secret. She is shocked at his accusations and insists she'd never do that. But Clark doesn't listen and storms out. I always think Allison Mack is always very good at the, like, I would never do that stuff.
Yeah.
I always buy it. I wonder what she's up to.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
What were you going to say?
I lost it. It's gone.
Oh, good. I'm glad we lost it for my fucking A+ joke, right?
No. I promise it was nothing. Yeah, I promise it was nothing.
Lana goes to the Luthor mansion and thanks Lex for the silver meteor rock, but Lex claims he doesn't know anything about it. This is our first Lex-Lana bit in a while. We've kind of let that grow cold about how Lex is in love with the child, who is an adult woman now.
Yeah,
it doesn't make it less creepy, but she's an adult woman now. At least not in high school. But like, I definitely forgot about this one, and they definitely want us to remember.
Oh, it's a big thing going forward.
Yeah. So Lana doesn't believe him and says she is determined to find out answers about the spaceship she saw. He claims he is protecting her, and she says she doesn't need to be protected. He takes her to Warehouse 15 and shows her the spaceship. I think both Kristen Crook and Michael Rosenbaum are doing about as well as they can here, considering the script is silly.
I mean, everyone's doing good in this episode.
Yes.
The acting all around is solid. Yeah.
Lex claims he wants to help her get to the bottom of the ship's mystery, but Lana knows that he is only showing her because she is the only one who has seen it open. Despite her skepticism, she decides to help him. This is a fun play here of, like, Lex is using Lana, but Lana also wants to know. So, like, right. Is okay being used here. It's a good dynamic.
And also, now Lex and Lana have a secret they're keeping from Clark.
That's good and fun. That's good and fun. At the Kent farm, Lionel visits Jonathan and offers his assistance in Jonathan's Senate race.
Coincidence. Lionel shows up in an episode is good. Weird.
Yeah, right. Ooh, also, man, that mane is back.
Oh yeah, baby.
I liked the short hair, but I also am happy to see that beautiful mane. You know,
I mean, he's looking good. Whatever he's got going on, he's rocking it. You know?
just always looks good.
Yeah.
Just whatever he shows up with, he looks ready to fucking party.
Yeah.
Jonathan doesn't understand why Lionel would want his son to lose and is skeptical of his motives. Lionel says that Lex's thirst for power is insatiable and it would be dangerous for him to for him to win his first foray into what we believe to be local politics.
We can't have Lex in charge of traffic lights and potholes.
I think he'd be more in charge if he was just the mayor of Smallville.
Yep. Lionel comes to offer Jonathan Kent money to help with the campaign, right?
Right.
Does Lionel have money?
Good. He's got overseas money.
He went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
Lex took over everything.
There's no way Lionel doesn't have an account somewhere under Schmeinel Schmuther. Ready to go for these types of situations.
Also, it's tough to say because we don't know the condition of his release. Like he was convicted. Like,
right.
Did it get overturned? If it gets overturned, doesn't he get all his shit back? I don't know, like how that works.
Right.
I mean, he would never have
Smallville
lost his shit. He wouldn't have lost his shit in the first place, would he? You don't lose all your assets just because you go to jail.
Zach, right. That makes it. Zach, I have no idea how the criminal justice system works.
I just know he was.
You don't just lose everything.
He was like staying in like shelters and eating at soup kitchens when he got out of prison in season 4. So like
you lose, to be clear, you lose like crime money, right? Like if you embezzle a bunch of money, you don't get to keep that. But Lionel's was in for like murder?
Yeah, right. yeah.
You can kill somebody and keep your shit.
Yeah. OJ did.
Right? Where was I? Lex's first foray into politics, and Jonathan's wholesome image could give him a shot at winning. When Jonathan is still reluctant, Lionel produces an envelope full of cash. He says he knows Clark's secret, and unless Jonathan accepts, he will experiment on Clark. This is, of course, in green. It is a hallucination. By this point, the show is stylistically communicating paranoid delusions to us. And like we occasionally get shots of Clark looking pale and like crazy eyed.
Yeah, like red around his eyes. Welling is doing great here.
Great.
Just
great
to say, he's having fun playing a paranoid junkie.
Not at all our first time defending Mr. Tom Welling. People come on this show and make fun of our boy. He's doing good work here.
MVP nominee from here on out. I'm telling you right now.
Absolutely agreed.
Winner of season 4 MVP.
Winner of season 4. Season 4 MVP. Show some fucking respect.
That's voted by 2 dudes.
Clark is watching the exchange and is shocked when he sees, in green now, his father collect Lionel's money. I actually really liked John Schneider in this scene. I thought he did a good job in Clark's paranoid delusion to like snatch the money. like
reluctantly.
Yeah. I thought it was really good. When Jonathan enters the house, Clark snatches the envelope out of Jonathan's pocket. His confused parents look on as Clark rants angrily. I believe he like snatches the envelope and he's like, "What about this money?" And he takes it out and he's like triumphantly waving it, and it's like bills. It's just mail. It's very good. Tom Welling's very good. Schneider and what's Mama Kent's name?
Annette O'Toole.
They're doing great. It's good. Yep. It's really good. Because I believe in the fiction, Clark believes he is looking at money, even though it's just mail.
Right. Yeah. That's fun.
He sells it. It's good. It's really good. So he waves the quote-unquote money around, which in reality is Lex's balance sheets for his campaign. Clark loses control. He hits Martha across the room and shoves Jonathan to the wall.
He lifts Jonathan up against the wall, like in the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
To Clark's horror, Jonathan reveals, wearing green now, that Clark was never his son, just a thing he found in the cornfield. Which,
Brutal.
John Schneider sells that one. I like it.
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah.
This is a good episode.
It
I like
is.
this one.
Okay, hold on. I feel like Mama K got a concussion there.
That is certainly hard to argue with.
He throws her across the room, and then she's out of commission for the rest of the scene.
Hard to argue with. I say mark it. I say mark it.
I mean, I almost wanted to put one for Johnny K too, but it's inconclusive with him.
Yeah. We don't need to fudge the numbers. We can just take the legitimate ones.
That's right.
Clark abruptly drops Jonathan because Chloe has come up behind him with a chunk of green kryptonite. He accuses them of working together and speeds away, although he is still under kryptonite exposure. So Clark's speeding away. He just busts through the door. Imagine the fucking day the Kents have had. Their car, their pickup truck, has been utterly decimated.
Yeah.
Martha Kay, there was some collateral damage as she was shoved across the room. I believe a kitchen table's knocked over. We have seen some damage to the house. And then Clark takes the door off as he speeds away.
Well, I mean, not to mention
fucking day.
He launched his mom across the room.
Right. It's Clark. Jesus Christ. So let's see here. The Kents are surprised to realize that Chloe knows Clark's secret. It's funny. I didn't realize they didn't know. I had forgotten.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either.
So it was news when Mama K and Papa K are like, wait, what the fuck? How do you fucking know? And
you'd assume
Chloe's response is basically, I've known for a while. So Chloe tells him about how Clark accused her of betrayal, and Martha suggests that his behavior must be due to red kryptonite. Chloe realizes that Lana had a silver meteor rock in her dorm room, but none of them have heard of silver kryptonite. I don't know if silver kryptonite is a thing in the comics. I assume the wiki will tell us later if it is.
Well, the implication at the end of the episode seemed to be that it wasn't actually a silver kryptonite meteor rock.
Sure.
It was.
That's true.
Professor Fine messed with the regular rock and made it
good
poisonous.
Point. I don't think that read to me as what was going on.
Okay.
But you are correct. Now, in retrospect, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what that was. In my head, I'm just like, he absorbed the kryptonite? I don't know. But you're correct. Lana finds Clark in her dorm room, and he embraces her, then tells her they have to go north. Lana is hesitant and confused, and Clark realizes that Chloe is on her way. Telling Lana not to trust Chloe, he leaves.
That's a really fun moment played by Welling where he's frantically talking to Lana and he stops. He's like, Chloe's about to walk in. He hears it. It's so great.
It's good, man. When Chloe arrives, Lana is unsure of who to trust due to Clark's warning. I think Crook does a fun job here of he told me not to trust you.
Right, yeah.
She snaps out of it pretty fast because her boyfriend's being fucking crazy.
Right, yeah. Good thing, yeah. She picks up on the subtle weirdness.
Right. If she didn't, that would have done Lana real dirty.
Yeah. She's been done more dirty than that, though.
That's
on this
true.
Show.
That's true. When Chloe arrives, Lana's unsure of who to trust due to Clark's warning. Realizing that Clark is acting strange and erratic, she decides to believe Chloe and reveals that she has the silver meteor rock hidden away. Chloe leaves to find Clark, instructing Lana to wait for him and keep him calm if he comes back. Clark goes to Professor Fine and asks him about the black truck again. Fine is confused and claims that Clark hasn't been to class in over a week. Clark tries to remind him about their earlier conversation, but Fine doesn't know what he's talking about. Clark is highly agitated, and Fine explains that he has to go to a meeting, but asks Clark to wait for him in his office. Clark steps out through the door of his office and hallucinates that the room is full of random imagery, including his spaceship, a cradle, and a child running through the shadows. Lex's voice announces that Clark is an invading alien and that he's going to kill Clark. The room starts to fill with green gas, and Clark stumbles out. I love Clark's perception of exactly how exposing him would go, and it's just Lex going, "He's an alien!"
So, is the implication that Fine is controlling these hallucinations?
That is not the impression that I got. I could be wrong, though.
I didn't think of that until just now, but if the end of the episode is him absorbing that stuff back into, like he created this little splinter that's going to go in his body, he could be controlling the hallucination.
That's certainly interesting. That's certainly interesting. I am unsure. That's not the vibe I got, but that doesn't mean I'm correct.
Yeah.
Lana angrily confronts Lex, but he insists again that he has no idea who sent her that rock. She tells him that it has infected Clark. He insists they're partners and that he'll take the rock.
I would never let anyone into my house because
they just come in demanding things.
Yeah, they just come in yelling at me and accusing me of things that only like 50% of the time did I actually do.
Right. Clark used to just come in and like, Xbox!
Yeah, pool, let's play some pool.
No, now it's just, oh yeah, I'm fucking mad at you.
Yeah, I'm better than you.
Okay, he insists that they're partners and that he'll take the rock to Luthor Corp to find a cure. Clark is watching their conversation through a window, and from Clark's perspective, Lana kisses Lex, hugs him, and then looks Clark straight in the eyes and smiles. Cook.
And Clark gets turned on.
And then this show goes in a weird direction we haven't seen before.
He sets the Luthor Mansion on fire with his heat vision.
Suddenly, the lights in the mansion go out and Lex goes to investigate. He finds one of his security guards unconscious and collects his gun. Clark comes up
concussion.
Yes, definitely. Clark comes up behind him, accusing him of trying to steal Lana from him. Lex tries to calm him down, but Clark grabs Lex's wrist and squeezes until he yells in pain and drops the gun.
Oh, the best is he goes, Clark, we need to get you to the lab. And Clark's like, yeah, we should get to the lab. We should get to the lab right now so you can do experiments on me. It's just a great line delivery by Tom Welling.
So good. He then pushes Lex across the room. Lana hears the commotion and hides. Clark uses his super hearing and X-ray vision to find her in the basement, slurring that they were meant to be together.
Lex concussion.
Oh, yes, definitely. Good catch.
Right.
I like the scene there real fast that Lana's hiding, and that's nothing for Clark. Like, I know where you are.
Yeah, exactly. I can see through shit, lady.
Yeah.
I think we should check on the Johnny Knoxville count of concussions.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, it's time. Do you have written down how many concussions that is?
I know. We need to look it up because we're at...
Yeah, I'm going to look it up right now.
We're at 15 Lex concussions overall in the series.
Okay. So we have over a dozen is what Johnny Knoxville has said.
I thought we had the exact number. I thought it was at 17.
I thought we did too. 17 sounds correct. For the record, in case you haven't listened in the past, we are tracking Johnny Knoxville as of Jackass Forever has said in the press junket, he's had a certain number of concussions, and his doctor's been like, you can't do Jackass stuff anymore. If you get another concussion, you'll die.
Oh, here we go. Johnny Knoxville says he has had about 16 concussions. I can't remember the exact number because he's had 16 concussions. So we are one shy of the Johnny Knoxville number, wherein his doctor said, if you get any more, you'll die.
That basically effectively put him into stunt retirement.
Yes. So something
Johnny
tells
fucking
me
Knoxville.
Lex is going to pass the Johnny Knoxville
with
number.
flying colors.
He's at 15. That's so many concussions.
That's too many. Okay. Clark tells Lana that he stopped Lex, and Lana asks if he hurt him. Lana assures him that she did not kiss Lex, but he doesn't believe her and begins to choke her. Professor Fine appears behind him and interrupts Clark's assault on Lana. He superspeeds after Fine, who somehow evades him, trying to calm Clark.
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Did
good.
Lana get a concussion? Because
Begins to choke her.
Oh, because okay, so maybe that's why she lost consciousness.
Right. Lack of oxygen to the brain is not a concussion.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad.
I don't think that's good for you either.
No.
Okay, Clark superspeeds after Fine, who somehow evades him. Trying to calm Clark down, he states it would destroy Clark to know that he'd harmed Lana. Fine uses a blast of heat vision boner to knock Clark down. Just a
robot boner.
Just a professor robot and his student battling with boners. It's that scene in Spaceballs where the lightsabers are their dicks.
That's exactly what's happening.
He overpowers him, announces that he too is a Kryptonian, and uses a device to extract the splinter of Silver K from Clark's neck. Fine calls him Kal-El and superspeeds away as Lex arrives to find Lana unconscious in Clark's arms.
What have you done?
What have you done? Clark visits a recovering Lana in the hospital. Chloe is there too, but she excuses herself when Clark arrives to apologize. Lana tells Clark how Chloe explained to her that the meteor rock was responsible and gave him temporary powers. Lana's really cool about the temporary powers. Almost like she might be really cool with the actual powers you have all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Clark. Clark, now would be a good opportunity to be like, oh, I still got him. Shh.
You just have so many chances. So many openings.
You could literally just now, just take the on-ramp to like, yeah, I got these powers. Whoa, crazy.
Yeah, they stuck with me. Well, I don't know what to do.
Crazy. Let's not tell anybody about them, though. Let's not go to... Clark is extremely guilt-ridden, but Lana accepts his apology. She assures him that there could never be anything between her and Lex. Chloe is waiting outside. Clark thanks her for covering up for him when he starts to speculate that if he killed Lana. Chloe tries to reassure him that it wasn't his fault. Yeah, that's pretty intense, though. That's pretty intense, though. A dog attacks somebody. It's not like the dog's fault, but that's pretty intense, though. That's pretty intense, though.
Yeah, the person who's going to pay is the dog.
Yeah, right.
The scene ends with Chloe saying, "I would never reveal your secret. I would die first," and they linger on it. And I'm wondering, did they maybe reveal in the press that someone was going to die in the season? Like, and then they're dropping hints about it? Because that just
do they even have to drop it to the press? Because there was something diegetically in the show where it's like, I'm going to kill somebody. Jor-El was like, I'm going to fucking take somebody out.
You're right. I didn't even think about that. So that's it. So they're trying to make you worry about multiple people.
It's the Arrested Development. Someone will die.
Yes. And so Chloe's like, I would die before I'd do it. You know. Oh,
yes.
No. Is this going to come back?
1,000,000%. A million. It's of course Johnny K. That just happens in Superman stuff. Grow up. Watch the movie.
Grow up, you children.
Children. Clark asks Chloe about the rock, but she says it disappeared from Lex's manor in the confusion. Chloe also clarifies that she really has been emailing Lionel, but only to get inside information on Lex's Senate campaign. She reiterates that she would die before she told anyone Clark's secret, and Clark gives her a hug. Lex is recovering at home, his wrist bandaged. Lionel tells him that he might not want to let the story get out, that a jealous young man beat him up. Lionel advises that all Lex's efforts to change his image won't help with those who know him, and Lana Lang will never love him.
Okay. 2 weeks ago on this show, you told the story of Ninja Turtles and the guy who ignored you.
Yes.
The way you described what that guy did to you is how I feel about what Lionel does to Lex in this scene. He absolutely bodies him as you described it.
Destroyed.
He just comes in for he has no reason to do this. I don't understand. He just comes in and basically says, you're trying to be a senator because you want people to like you. No one is ever going to like you because you're terrible inside your soul, and the person you love is never going to love you back because she knows that.
I wonder how Lex got so fucked up.
Yeah, son. That's why Lana Lang will never love you, son. That's how he ends the scene.
It's so good. Here's a question. I don't know where this counts on the scale. This is a genuine question. Lionel says something about, like, even if you were president of the United States, blah, blah,
right.
blah, 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 blah. In, like, DC Comics continuity at the time, Lex Luthor, like, was president. I don't know if that counts as a Nietzsche line.
It's a Nietzsche line. All
right.
line.
There you go. There we go. Yeah. Definitely when I was watching it, like, at 17, I was
tell you something.
He is going to be the president.
I'll tell you something, Brian. Spoiler alert. He becomes president in this world of this show.
He does. So I believe that was even, like, in season 1, they were cueing to that.
Yeah.
So Clark talks with his parents about what has happened. He says that he has no idea what was real and what was not. They think the infection burned itself out of him. Clark doesn't mention Fine's involvement because he thinks he imagined it. Jonathan is worried about how his joining the Senate race would invite scrutiny in their lives, but Clark objects and says they can't let fear rule their family. Clark realizes he did not imagine Professor Fine when he finds him in his loft. Fine tells him he is there to make Clark walk the path of a true Kryptonian. Fine wonders why Clark trusts humans, because they don't impress him. Clark tells him that the humans in his life are trustworthy and he will always stand by them. Fine says that Clark can come to him when he is ready to accept the truth. I think we've talked about it before. I think James Marsters here is doing exactly the job he should be doing on this television show.
Yes. Yep.
I think he's as good as someone on this show can kind of be.
Yep.
Not an inch, not an ounce better.
Or worse.
Or worse. Fine then goes to the black ship and absorbs the quote-unquote silver kryptonite back into his body, leaving a plain rock, revealing that it was Fine who caused the infection.
But why does he need to go to the ship for that?
Right. Right.
He goes to the ship just to drop the rock by it?
In reality, probably to remind us that they're linked visually.
Right, yeah, of course.
That's the real reason. Here's the thing. I kind of wish they'd played with this more and maybe even for longer. I like the idea of Clark having a Kryptonian, kind of the Jor-El role. I like Brainiac having that role. Maybe even for like a season or two before revealing, fuck like you, I'm Brainiac. Reveal.
Yeah. Ooh.
I don't know if we're kind of already doing that with Lex Luthor, but...
Yeah. It would have been... It's different if it's like a big reveal, because they tipped their hat or tipped their hand early on this one that this is not a good guy.
Right. Just part of me thinks the Jor-El role would have been more fun served this Brainiac role.
Oh, yeah.
But that would be different. But I like it. Featured music this episode.
That would be great if the first few seasons, because Jor-El was like a dictator, if it turned out that was Brainiac, that would have been brilliant. Yeah. That would have been great.
Yeah. What a good shit. Featured music this episode is Superman by Stereophonics. Forget It by Breaking Benjamin. Remember Breaking Benjamin?
No.
They were one of those butt rock bands, kind of like puddle. They were like a sub Nickelback.
Oh no!
All right. And Homeward Angel by Moby.
Was that the song that was playing at the end? That makes
Must
sense.
be. I don't remember. I only remember the. I don't remember this Breaking Benjamin song or Homeward Angel by Moby anywhere in the episode. Let's see here. Lois Lane does not appear in this episode. It does, however, appear in the song. It is sometimes unclear which parts of Clark's illusions are and which parts are Clark's illusions and which parts are real. However, as the scene continues normally after Clark leaves, the scene where Chloe subdues him with green kryptonite should be real, which leads to the question of how he could super speed away, which is a good question.
She has kryptonite near him?
He usually can't use his powers when he's being kryptonited.
It changes all the time.
Let's see. This is the only appearance of silver kryptonite in the series, which is revealed to be created by Brainiac. Silver kryptonite was introduced in the comics continuity in Jimmy Olsen number 70, published in 1963. Just as in this episode, Silver K in that story was also not real kryptonite and was a hoax. Interesting. That's very interesting. Because he orchestrated the entire situation, it is possible that Fine only feigned ignorance of his and Clark's conversation about the black truck as a way to further aggravate Clark's paranoia. This episode was advertised with choppy footage on a screen that never actually appears in the episode, with the title Splinter Smallville. Okay. Chloe's email address is displayed as Chloe_Sullivan@dailyplanetmail.com. If one says a message, they receive this reply. Hi, not sure how you got my email, but thanks for saying hi. Can you believe Lex Luthor is actually running for state senate? Check this out. Some students at CKU already put up a website supporting his campaign. There is a Smallville Warner Brothers site here that certainly is down. Scary, if you ask me. Check back with me in a couple of weeks. I may have something else interesting for you. Have a great one. Cheers, Chloe Sullivan, Obituaries and Classifieds, The Daily Planet Metropolis.
That's fun.
Surely though, stick with me though, was like clearly like, maybe we'll do more stuff here, and then they didn't. I wonder if we can find... Nah, that episode's long gone. I just got a Barbie thing in there. Okay. Sorry, just looking up here where we are.
Brian is looking where we are in the wiki.
In one of Clark's hallucinations, Lex says that Clark is the first vanguard of an invasion. The comic version of Lex also makes this claim in the 2003 limited series Superman Birthright. Blah, 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 fucking blah. Not interesting.
No, not interesting.
It certainly looks like that's about everything for this episode this week. Thank you again for listening to the Talon Mix. We appreciate all of you. If you want to support the show, you'll find a link in the description to our Patreon. It's $5 a month. You'll get access to some of our bonus episodes. By this point, we should have a bonus episode up about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Barbie, Oppenheimer, basically a whole bunch of stuff we've been watching this summer. We haven't recorded it yet, but it should be up by this point. Who knows what we've talked about? Maybe it's the greatest hour or whatever that we've ever recorded. That's what I'm choosing to believe. Obviously, don't give us any of your actual money dollars if that's any fucking pain in the ass. But if you want to support the show for free, pull out your phone right now and maybe give us 5 stars on your podcasting app of choice. It really, really, really actually does make a difference and helps people find the show when they're searching for Smallville. Yeah, we appreciate it. Zach, do you have a question for the Smallville gods?
Yeah, I just want to know, did Clark really get run off the road during that one scene?
Good night, everybody.